Assalamu alaikum and welcome to online teaching history subject today. Now we have seen historiography development in the West. Today we are going to start with a fresh lesson number 2, that is historiography Indian tradition. Now here in this we are going to see two topics: tradition of Indian historiography and Indian historiography, various ideological frameworks. Now today we are going to cover the whole of the traditions of Indian historiography. It was not like that the Western people were advanced and having the historiography and doing the research work, but the Indians also were doing and in a very proper manner. So let us see 2.1, that is tradition of Indian historiography. Historiography in the ancient period, we will see that is at that time the great deeds of the ancestors and the mythological folk tales and the memories of the social transitions were all preserved in the form of the oral recitals, like in the form of the, now we see that into the recent form as the povadas or kind of a kirtans or kind of a recitation of the Ramayana, and they dictate and the whole of the story is told. That same tradition has been followed over the years. Then we see the inscription of the Harappan seals and other artifacts. Now at that time you must have known in olden times of the histories that the Harappa was an area which was a civilization that is called as the Harappan civilization. We see that the seals were there. The kings at that time, they were having the seals on that, and it was during the very early periods, that is the 3rd century, that is before the Christ. Okay. Now you will also know that there were many documents, written document in the 3rd century BCE, that is before Christ. We have the evidence of it in the form of Ashoka Maurya, that was the emperor Ashoka Maurya period of time, and there were the edict inscriptions on the natural stones, and the pillars of big pillars of stones were there, on which all the details of the kings and in which year he was born and what were the details and on which event he had inscripted that stone was all written on it. Now here one question arises, what do you mean by inscription? Inscription means on the stone it was been engraved. That time it was not been written with the help of the ink or any pen or pencil, but it was engraved. That whole stone was carved like, and it was written. You will see at that time in the 1st century also the coins, the metal images and sculptures, and also of the copper plates. One of the examples here we are going to take is Sohagaura copper plate. You will see that on page number 7 in your textbook. In the yellow framework you will see in the district of Uttar Pradesh, Gorakhpur, Uttar Pradesh district, that is the state Uttar Pradesh and the district is Gorakhpur. You will see there are the pictures there, that pictures are describing in the form like words. Now there are the images of the trees and 4 pillars on which that storage granary is there. What do you mean by granary? Where the grain is stored. Why it is stored? It is ordered by the king to keep the storage of the grains, so that during the famine period, when there is no rain in that area, that can be utilized by the people. Okay. Now we see many of the other kind of descriptions here, and we also have the ancient famous Indian literature, including the epics of the Ramayana, Mahabharata, the Puranas, the Jains and the Buddhist texts. Now as it was a very great country with many of the religion origins from here, so we see many of the texts which were there in the olden times. We can find their copies or the pages on which they were written in the very old paper. Now, writing of the biographies of the kings and the dynastic histories marks an important step in the Indian historiography. Now in Indian historiography you will see what do you mean by biographies. Biographies means the whole life of the king is described, and the dynastic histories, that means the king one after other, where they were born and how much the time period they ruled there, and what was their who were their ancestors, and how that one passed from one generation to another. Okay, here you will see the Indian historiography. Harsha Charita is written in the 7th century by Banabhatta to the king Harsha. It is the biography of King Harsha. Now here the whole of his social life, what the economy was there at that time, the politics at that time, the religion which was followed at that time, and the cultural life, all at that time of King Harsha is been described in Harshacharit. It was written in the 7th century by Banabhatta. We move on to historiography in the medieval period. Now in the medieval period, the special mention is there of style of writing of the Rajatarangini. Rajatarangini was a book which was written by Kalahana in the 12th century. Especially the whole of the history of Kashmir is added here. Kalahana himself says that he wrote this text after he very critically examined each of the inscriptions, the coins at that period, the monuments which were there, that means the old buildings, and what the things were written on that old building, and the records in which year that was been constructed. All these details and the local traditions he saw, and he has described all these in this book. Okay. Now in the medieval India, the historian in the courts of the Muslim rulers were influenced by the Arabic and the Persian historiography. Among them Zainuddin Barani, who was a very important place here. He has written Tariq-e-Firoz Shahi, a book written by him. Here he states that historian's duty is not limited only to record all the great works and the policies of the king or the ruler and his welfare, but he should also write about the ruler's failings and the incorrect policies. Barani further says that the historian should also take into consideration the impact of teaching of the wise, the learned people, the saints who were there at that time, and the great peoples who were there, and the cultural life of the people. He explained the scope of historiography in that. He says that truth should be written. However, after that we see the historian in the Mughal courts, they were just praising the emperor, and in his royal presence they were writing poems for him and making beautiful pictures of the kings. Now here I need to mention about the founder of the Mughal Empire, that was Babur. He has written his own autobiography, that is Tuzuk-e-Babari. Now Tuzuk-e-Babari is written by Mughal emperor, the first Mughal emperor, that is Babur, and he describes in that the wars fought by him. He has also recorded his minute observation about various regions and the cities where he had travelled, and also including the local economy and customs and the flora and the fauna which were present in that area. Another prominent personality who has written the history there, that is the historiographer, his name is Abu Fazl. He has written Akbarnama. In it he has described about all the authentic historical documents which were there. First he scrutinized them, he checked them, he verified them, and then he has written about the history of Akbar. Now, what do you mean by Bakhar? Bakhar is an important type of historical documents of medieval times. It contains the eulogies of the heroes and the stories of the historic events, battles, and lives of the great people. Bakhar means it is the records, it is the historical record of the documents in the medieval period in which the heroes, that means heroes were who? The kings and the great leaders and the fighters who were fighting the war. As every kingdom was having war with the other kingdom many a times and attacking on others. So the valor, how they fought the war, how they win the war, all that stories of the battlefield and the lives of the great people were written and recorded with the help of the proofs. Now Marathi peoples, that is the Marathas in Maharashtra, the Maratha Bakhars are of various types. Sabhasad Bakhar was written by Krishnaji Anant Sabhasad during the reign of Chhatrapati Rajaram Maharaj. It is an important Bakhar for getting the information about the rule of Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaj. Bhau Sahebanchi Bakhar, it is the description of the battle of Panipat. Another Bakhar entitled Panipatache Bakhar is also about the same event. Holkaranchi Khapiyat provides information about the Holkars and their contribution to the Maratha rulers. Bakhars can be divided into various forms, like they were of biographies of the kings, dynastic history, description of the events of the history of a particular sect, and autobiographies of the kings and the Peshwas at that time regarding the grievances based, the battlefield fought, how the battles were fought based on the mythologies, that means the old beliefs of the people and the stories from the olden times, and the state administration, how the king had followed the administration and welfare of the peoples in the society. These all collectively comes under the Bakhar. As a result of these, the Bakhars proved to be a very important in history, and as a historian, we need to get the proofs from there if we need to write anything from history, or we need to get any details from the history. Inshallah, we'll continue next time. Jazakallah.